It's Friday, March 10th, 2023. Let's talk about the news. From the Wall Street Journal, Israeli military officers threaten to refuse to serve if judicial overhaul passes. Dissatisfaction with a planned judicial overhaul by the Israeli government has spread to the military, as officers have warned that the changes would undermine morale and weaken the country's defense capabilities, and some have threatened to cease showing up for duty if the overhaul is passed. This is just one more group of Israeli citizens that have expressed disbelief and disapproval of the proposed overhaul, which would allow the Netanyahu-led government, he retook power despite ongoing corruption investigations into his previous terms in office, with the support of far-right political parties, to lock in their power, essentially putting themselves in control of one of the few checks on their influence, the country's court system. Most critics agree that reform of the courts is warranted, but this approach would, according to many international accounts as well, significantly shift Israel's government away from democracy, creating all sorts of knock-on effects in the process. From Reuters, Georgian ruling party withdraws foreign agents bill, but faces more protests. Georgia's government has announced that it will withdraw a proposed bill that would allow them to label just about anyone they don't like as a foreign agent, following 2 nights of protests, some of which became violent. This proposed law has been compared to a similar law in Russia, which is core to that country's ability to lock up opposition leaders and keep real-deal journalism from happening, and it's been criticized by citizens who tend to poll as being more aligned with the EU, which they hope to someday join, as heavily slanted toward Russia's way of doing things, which the current government tends to favor. Protests will reportedly continue despite the withdrawal, and EU leaders have praised the pullback. And from Axios, crypto bank Silvergate to shut down amid crisis. Silvergate Capital, which runs a crypto-focused entity called Silvergate Bank, has announced that it will liquidate the bank and that its continued operation is uncertain at this point. This announcement comes in the wake of a truly bad year for the crypto asset world, punctuated by the collapse of crypto industry heavyweight FTX and the rapid-fire divulgences of just how much corruption and illegality was happening within that company and other entities to which it was connected. Customers pulled more than $8 billion worth of assets from Silvergate in late 2022, and though the bank was able to get a $4.3 billion loan from the Federal Home Loan Bank to help shore up its books, this shutdown, which will reportedly be done in a fairly orderly fashion, with folks who have assets in the bank paid out rather than losing those assets, as has been the case with other crypto-related collapses, is being seen as one more pin helping to deflate the recent crypto asset bubble. If you're finding some value in One Sentence News, consider leaving a quick review wherever you get your podcasts and/or sharing the show with a friend. You can find out more about this show or subscribe to the email version at onesentencenews.com, and you can support this and other related projects like the Let's Know Things and Brain Lenses podcasts at understandery.com.